Hey, it's me, Rishikesh Kannan, popularly known as Rishi K. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell icon now to get the latest videos and get taken into a world of entertainment, culture, sport, business, and current affairs.
To be working with Manoj sir and to be working with Raj was amazing. It was I got to see them at such close quarters and got to know their process in some way, and not just as actors, as people. I got to know them, and it's so humbling to see them be that passionate and dedicated to their craft in spite of being there for so many years. It's not easy. People just slack, and people are just like, "Ha, yaar, kar lenge." But to see these guys just push themselves day in and day out, in spite of achieving massive success, is just very, very humbling and like a big, big learning lesson for all us actors.
Adarsh, Gaurav, good to see you, bro, and many congratulations on the success of the White Tiger. It's been a long time coming. I don't buy all these things that journalists call you and say, "Oh, where did you come from? Where did you fall out from?" I know the hard work that's gone in. All those years of work on the internet, work in cinema, work in theater. So well done. And is the family and you safe and healthy?
The family is great. They're safe and healthy. They're very, very happy, and it's a very positive environment at home.
Yeah, man. I mean, I saw this lovely video of your mom receiving you at the airport where she's got a placard and then she actually painted the garage. That must have been one of the sweetest things anybody can do for anybody, not just a parent to a child. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think only a mother can do that for a child. Like only your family can do something like that extra. Um, and she actually wanted to keep it as a surprise, but because Jamshedpur is such a small town, one of my friends was passing by my house and clicked a photo of it and put it on Facebook a week before I reached there. She wanted it to be like I enter the house and I see it. So I called her up and I'm like, "Ma, what is this? Why did you get the whole garage painted?" And she's like, I didn't know what to do with. I was feeling so much and I just wanted to express it in some way. My mom's a lovely painter herself. And she said, I just got the garage painted.
So
And
cool.
it's just incredible. I'm just very, very fortunate to be born in such a household, I guess.
Friends of mine who are now eminent filmmakers, which is Imtiaz Ali, Praval Pandey, now known as Praval Raman, these are all guys who grew up in Jamshedpur, and they talk about the vibe of Jampot and how Jamshedpur built them as human beings. I know you were only there till the 8th or ninth standard, but still, those are formative years, man. Growing up in Jamshedpur itself, they always say an actor is an amalgamation of all the journeys that he's traversed. So talk to me about that.
I think growing up in Jamshedpur was the most beautiful thing that could have ever happened to me. It's just I feel so lucky to have grown up in an environment where there was so much space. There was so much time. Just time just moved very slowly in Jamshedpur, and we had these huge grounds in our colony. I would play for 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, every day, and it's like a melting pot of different cultures. And like we had like all kinds of people in the colony, and majority of my time was really just spent in playing, being outdoors. I was not a kid who used to be playing computer games too much, and उस time पे computer games कम भी थे. But I was not a tech geek ever, and yeah, most of my time was just spent outside. And I learned how to ride a scooter very early on. Like I remember in the fifth grade, I would sneak my mother's from the almari. I would sneak the scooter keys out, and I started riding the scooty in my colony when I was 10. And not something I advocate, but it's something I did. And yeah, it was never decided for us to move to Bombay. I was learning classical music from a young age, and then one fine day, my father said that I've applied for a job in Bombay, and if I get it, then we'll move. And my father used to keep getting transferred to different places because he used to work for Central Bank of India. But when he got transferred to Bombay, we just made that decision because my father's like, well, it's better for my career, and you want to be a singer. Which other city better than Bombay to make something out of that? So we just moved. And the funny thing is that I used to love lying as a kid. Like I used to lie for no reason. I would just cook up stories for everything, like to my parents, to my friends, to my teachers. And one of those lies was that I'm moving to a metro city. And this I made up in 2005 when I didn't even know that I was moving. So when I actually moved, people were like, "Oh, hi, this was part of the plan," but it never was. It just happened. And I've had these strange occurrences, these strange patterns all throughout my life, like lies that I've just, or things that I've just said out loud that have just happened, and it just bewilders me completely. But yeah, so I moved with family in 2007 to Bombay.
Yeah, it's kind of karmic in that way. And rock and roll in Jamshedpur, man. I mean, I remember going to the U2 concert here at the DY Patil Stadium, and I was, I was with Imtiaz and these other guys from Jamshedpur. They knew every song, they were rocking, they were grooving. And, rock is such a big thing there. I mean, I see you now pick up the guitar and you're doing some acoustic jams, not just rock, but other kinds of music. Are you self-taught as far as the guitar is concerned, or did that something that you picked up in Jampot and then you give it a break and you've taken it again?
No, I mean, it's interesting you say that because Jamshedpur has like all kinds of people. So of course there were people like Imtiaz sir and all that who were exposed to Western music of some kind. But for me, I didn't have that exposure to Western music till I was almost like 15 years old when I came to Bombay. Yeah, I remember my brother listening to some Backstreet Boys back in the day. And he's 7 years elder to me. So when I was in the 4th grade, we had a Backstreet Boys poster in my room. But मेरे को कुछ समझ में नहीं आता था English music. I was like, man, what is this guy listening to? And because I was happy tripping on A.R. Rahman and like these kind of, like, I've always loved A.R. Rahman. So when I came to Bombay, it was a very weird thing for me because it was such a cultural shift. And for like a naive 13-year-old tender mind, it's hard for you to sort of understand what's happening with you, and how different radically kids in Bombay are as compared to what people in Jamshedpur are. Kids in Jamshedpur at 13 are still kids. Kids in Bombay in 13 are like what kids in Jamshedpur at 15 are like, So suddenly I realized that, man, Hindustani classical music isn't cool here at all. So I was like, yaar, Angrezi mein gaana padega yahan to. So then I started like seeking out for people who had bands, and then I used to sing for one band in my junior college, sang for another band. Yeah, so I got introduced to Western music very later on in my life. Even speaking in English was something that I did only after I came to Bombay. I wouldn't speak in English in Jamshedpur. The guitar is something I taught myself during the lockdown because I never knew how to play an instrument, and it was very frustrating for me because if I ever wanted to jam by myself and if I ever liked a song, I had to solely rely on a karaoke track or call a friend who could play the guitar. So during the lockdown, I said, I have enough time to learn, pick this up, and I've tried doing this like 3-4 times before, tried to learn the guitar, but I couldn't. So I was just like, lockdown mein ye karna hi hai. It took me a couple of months, but I got the hang of it.
Mukul Diara's brother Milind and myself are mates. And years ago, when Mukul first got the rights to the White Tiger, I remember having dinner with his lovely wife and him at the time, and him saying, "Man, I'm sitting on the rights of this book, and it's almost become my life's mission. I've got to get this done." And the book has that effect on people, doesn't it? I mean, I read somewhere that you read it at an early age. Did you reread it? Or did you just go by the screenplay the second time around? I want to know about that and how the book impacted you even before the film.
Yeah, I read the book when I was 14, and strangely at that point in time, I didn't read much. I read a lot now, but at that point in time, I didn't read. But there was an atmosphere at home where my brother and my mother would read a lot. So somebody got that book to my house, and it felt like a relatively thinner book. So I just picked it up and started reading. And I had a great time reading it. It's full of sarcasm and, it's sardonic, and like there are all these characters that Balram refers to as animals. When, he looks at people, he looks at them as animals. And it's something that I used to do as a kid and still do. Like when I look at a person, I think about, oh, this person reminds me of this animal. So I could like really relate to Balram on that level. But when I got a call for the audition, I asked Tess if I should read the book. And she said, don't read the book. But I had an idea as to what the world was and what Balram's character was because I still remembered like parts of it. So no, even once I got the part, I did not read it. Ramin said, don't read the book. Like, find your own version of Balram, find your own truth about Balram and go and explore. Put yourself out there and see how you find it.
You just got nominated for an award, man. And, I remember seeing that award list, and you also reacted to it. There's Chadwick Boseman on that list. And, you've also congratulated another Indian who's been nominated for that award. And now everybody's going to ask you about the Oscars and how you feel and this and that. This is quite big. You could go on a signing spree, or you could turn around and say, I'm going to wait and watch. Are scripts already coming to you? How many scripts are you sitting on? How many have you read, others?
to be honest, I'm just working on a short film right now. So there are people who who approach me for auditions, for who sent me the scripts, but I want to take it nice and easy and just do the kind of work that I really believe in and work with filmmakers who have a very distinct voice and want to experiment and do something cool. Um, yeah, that's always been my idea, and of course, it feels unreal to see your name next to like Chadwick Boseman and Riz Ahmed and like it's crazy, right? But like Ramin once said something really profound. He said, "What the idea of getting any award or getting nominated for anything? At the end of the day, it's a piece of metal, right? It's a trophy. But the idea is that when you do get nominated for something big, you get the opportunity to work with the kind of people that you always wanted to for like the next 7 or 8 years. That is the real advantage of it. And like, I don't think I've ever agreed to any idea as much as I have. with it.
I buy that. I completely agree with that. But there are still people in India who will turn around and say public memory is short lived. जितना करना है अभी कर ले, लोहा गरम है, हथौड़ा मारना है, साइन कर ले, ये कर ले, वो कर ले. So I'm glad that you're being swayed by that. You're really your own person and saying that, I'm going to wait and watch, and you're in it for the long haul. It's obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, always. Like I've always treated it that way. And plus, I feel that the wait and watch also doesn't need to be that long because like there are fantastic filmmakers in our country and there are so many filmmakers that I want to work with. And I hope that those kind of filmmakers, want to give me a chance to audition for their film as well. And if I do, I want to make the most use of that opportunity. So it's not, I'd say, as tough as it was for actors 15 years ago or 10 years ago after like the OTT scenes like opened up in India. It's become much easier to do good work.
And man, it's so wonderful that even the so-called senior actors that you're working with are pretty much people from the same background as you. I mean, look at somebody like Manoj Bajpayee from Betia, Rajkumar Rao, as somebody who's been around for a while. I was here when Raj's first film happened, and, the early days. And then, you see reflections of him in you. Because here are you've traversed that small town journey, you've come to Bombay, you've picked up elements of big town culture, small town culture, and suddenly you've exploded onto the scene. So it must be wonderful to be on set with Manoj Bajpayee for Rukh, wonderful to be on set with Rajkumar Rao, and soak in that experience. Talk to me about those two guys in particular.
Yeah, I've always felt that when any actor or any artist for that matter, not just an actor, when they come from a small town and move into a bigger city, their spectrum just becomes so much bigger. Their perspective on life becomes so much broader. So I think that it's very important for an artist to go through like these phases in life and see so much life. And because ultimately that's everything's coming from within. You experience things that are outside, but then you soak it all in and then it comes from within. So it's very important. I think I'm just very lucky to have parents who decided to live in Jamshedpur and then decided to move to Bombay, and I got the best of both worlds. Yeah, and I also just feel that comfort is an artist's enemy. The more comfortable you get in life, the more complacent you get, and the more loser you get. I think the more uncomfortable you are, and that's why, like, I remember who said that? Jamie Foxx said that in one of his interviews.
Wow.
He said that I always leave something imperfect in my house. Like there'll always be a curtain that's torn, or there'll always be a carpet that has a stain, because that sort of makes me feel that there's work in progress. It's not perfect, because what is beyond perfect? There's nothing. So yeah, I mean, to be working with Manoj sir and to be working with Raj was amazing. I got to see them at such close quarters and got to know their process in some way, and not just as actors, as people, I got to know them, and it's so humbling to see them be that passionate and dedicated to their craft in spite of being there for so many years. It's not easy. People just slack, and people are just like, "Ha, yaar, kar lenge." But to see these guys just push themselves day in and day out, in spite of achieving massive success, is just very, very humbling and like a big learning lesson for all us actors.
And on a lighter note, all these years of going out and interviewing movie stars, Shah Rukh Khan and then Priyanka Chopra are the two of the sweetest smelling stars. You're around them and they smell so wonderful. Shah Rukh, you almost worked with. I mean, you played Junior Shah Rukh, but I don't think you met him on the set ever. But with PC, you've worked with her, and isn't she just delightful, man? I mean, look at how proud she's made us.
She has this infectious energy, like when she would come on set, people would just become like, their energy levels would just increase, everybody's energy levels. She just make you feel special even if you haven't done anything special. Some people are just like that. You can't, you're either that person or you aren't. And Priyanka is that person. I mean, and plus, she was also born in Jamshedpur. So Priyanka and Imtiaz sir are people whose names we have taken since we were children, in Bombay. And every time we had a chance, we would name drop and be like Jamshedpur, the city where Imtiaz Ali and Priyanka Chopra are from. And they're like, oh, okay.
It's like
So,
Pankaj Tripathi says. Pankaj Tripathi says that, मैं बड़ा होके मनोज बाजपेयी बनना चाहता था. That's the deal. Guy from Betia coming, making it big, and Pankaj is that background. So I understand where you're coming from, man.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you really relate to these people. Abhishek Chaubey, so many people from Jamshedpur. Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask about the theatre that you've done, only because when I've spoken to National School of Drama actors, when I've spoken to people who come from the stage and theatre, they have a certain innate confidence, and sometimes, it's like, I've done theatre, I've done years and years of theatre, full respect to that, but they feel that it's the be all and end all as far as the acting craft is concerned. You went to the drama school. How much did theatre help you in your overall process as an actor? How much do you pride yourself on doing theatre? Are you obsessive about it like some of the NSD guys, or are you saying it was there in my CV, it had to be done?
I haven't done so much theatre in my life. I've barely done theatre. The first acting experience I had was in a play in school. It was a play called The Man of La Mancha. But after that, I didn't do any theatre till I went to drama school. My reason for going to drama school was because I wanted to go to a school where theatre is taught and not camera, because I wanted to use my body to express and not just my face. And I knew that the only thing that would teach me how to do that would be to do theatre. And the only theatre school in Bombay was the Drama School Mumbai. And it's incredible. When I was working with Manoj sir on Rukh, he asked me to apply for NSD, but I was 22 at that point in time, 23 actually. And first of all, for NSD, you need some experience before. You need to be part of 6 theatrical productions from before. And then also it's a very tough process to get into it, right? So I just dropped that idea because I was like, 3 years of my life, there's no guarantee that I'm going to get in even now. And, not like I'm too old or anything, but I was just like, what is the alternative? And I found out about drama school. I think what theatre and being a drama school really did for me is open me up as an actor and as a person. It made me aware of my patterns as an actor. I think every actor has this bag of tricks and patterns that he constantly keeps using, and it's very, very important for us to be aware of that. Because each person you're playing is so different. And if you're not aware of that, then it just creeps into, then you can't really distinguish between, acha, ye insan isme ye tha aur ye isme ye tha. You need to be different, right? Like, you are so different than I am, and like Pankti is so different from us. So that is very important to make that differentiation. It's important to be aware of your pattern. So I think that's what drama school really did to me, apart from just being taught by incredible teachers. Foiza Jalali, Sheena Khalid, Pooja Saroop, Tushar Pandey. We were
great bunch. Great
bunch of actors. So yeah, and everybody is very honest to each other. It's a very transparent environment. People will give you brutal feedback, and you're allowed to fail in drama school, and nobody's going to judge you. Like at the max, your co-students are going to judge you or your teacher, and that's fine. So you get to experiment. You're allowed to fall. It's like having side wheels next to your cycle, and when drama school is over, those side wheels are taken. So I think, it was one of the best decisions of my life to join drama school. And I did that when I was already working. So I just took a break 1 year and I said, I need to be there and I need to be cut off from this whole space. Yeah.
But bro, it's now well documented that you went and worked in a ready in Saket to prepare for Balram and White Tiger. It's well documented. I don't want to bore you with repeating those stories again. It's well documented that you went to a village. You've also read books on body language to play Balram in the second half, which is Bangalore. My question is different. do you obsess like this about every role? Did you do that in the past for for Rook, for example, or do you visualize yourself doing that in the future too, if a part requires that, or is it just Ramin and the nature of the beast that the White Tiger is?
No, I try to do that for every project that I'm part of.
Wow.
It's just that with White Tiger, I had the luxury of time more than anything else. With other projects, you usually get cast 20 days before a film or a month before a film at the max, and then you do what you can. But when you get more time, then you just do like everything that you wanted to. And I just try to do that. I just try to milk the opportunity and try to do as much as I could. And yeah, I hope that I can continue this process and do it for like every
Nice.
project. Yeah.
Were you fearful of getting busted when you were working in the Chai Ki Ready?
Oh yeah. So much.
Some chills down the spine saying I get busted.
100%, because I made up a backstory saying that my uncle is a painter and that I have come here to work in the day. And so he would, on the first day, he agreed to give me 100 rupees. Okay. So on the first day during lunch, he said, यही खाना खा लो, खाना फ्री है यहाँ पे, जितने बार भी खा सकते हो, जितना भी खा सकते हो. अब क्या है कि मैंने उनको देख लिया था कि खाना कैसे बन रहा है वहाँ पे और किस लेवल का अडल्ट्रेशन चल रहा है और क्या हाइजीन स्टैंडर्ड मेंटेन हो रहे हैं वहाँ पे. So I was like, यार अगर मैं यहाँ खाऊंगा तो मैं शायद बीमार पड़ जाऊंगा. And I couldn't risk that. So I used to run back to my hotel, which was around half a kilometer to a kilometer away. I used to eat whatever salads and fruits that were kept because I also had to be very like thin. Run back, eat that, and then come back running again, and work for the rest of the day. So of course, yeah, there was that whole fear of getting busted, and I told him to leave me at 7. The shop shut at 8, but I told him to leave me at 7 because घर जाके call center का पढ़ाई करना है, call center exam देने वाले अगले साल, तो English भी सीख रहे हैं थोड़ा बहुत. So I had like a foolproof backstory, but I always feared that what if someday he gets suspicious and follows me and he finds out that this guy is living in a big hotel in Saket. So there was always that element of fear.
Bro, it's so much fun talking to you. I can't wait to see what you're up to next, Adarsh. Thank you for the joy that you gave us with the White Tiger and Balram. And cheers, mate. See you soon. Bye.
You too.
Stay safe and healthy, most importantly. Yeah, cheers.
Thanks, man. Bye bye.